Hi everyone, Emily here from Emily's Excellent Epics, and today I have for you, this is my second video in my pile of possibilities for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, or HRCYED 2.0. And this challenge is created by Qwordy, and I will link her channel in the comments below so you can check out all of her videos. She has been super helpful in putting together the spreadsheet, putting together all sorts of frequently asked questions documents, live streams where people can ask questions. She and her friend Asura, they really did a lot of work in creating the website, creating the spreadsheet to help you track and explain, and doing journal graphics to help you track and your progress in the challenge. So just want to make sure that you check that out. So yesterday I talked about, oh gosh, what did I talk about yesterday? My hundreds, in the hundreds prompt, and I talked about the subgenre challenge. And what I'm doing is there is a bingo board with the prompts, and then each prompt has, you can't just read one book. It's multiple books that you're reading. So that's why I'm doing a series of videos to discuss one or two prompts at a time, because otherwise this video would be really long, and I really don't want to do that. Plus, also, I have about 92 books that I have to talk about. Yeah, that's how much this is. So I do highly recommend you going and checking out my first video it explains how I put together my pile of possibilities. In short, I'll tell you really quickly. I printed out all the journal pages for all the prompts that were available. There were some that weren't available, and I just wrote them down and then figured out what I was going to read. I figured out what I was going to read. I wrote it down with pencil or an erasable pen. And then I took those ideas and I put the book title and then prompt 1, prompt 2, because you can double up on prompts. And then the books that I don't have, I highlighted in yellow, like books that I have to check out from the library. Books that you can triple up, you just have to use points to do that. I highlighted red, but you can double up, no problem. You can't reread until you've read 10 new books. So I've tried really hard to not have rereads on this list. So that's how I came up with what will I read. So today I am going to talk about the series Staircase Challenge and the Award Winners Challenge. So for series Staircase, you have to read a standalone, a duology, a trilogy. And now these you have to start and finish them. So for example, I can't just be like, well, I'm going to just read 3 books in the Wheel of Time series. There's my trilogy. No. You have to start the trilogy and you have to finish the trilogy. So it has to be the complete story arc. Same thing with the duology. The only thing where it's different is for the quartet books. That you could start and finish a quartet. So like the Books of Babel by Josiah Bancroft, that is a completed quartet of books. You can read that. Or you can read 4 books in a longer series. So if you're like, I really want to make progress in Wheel of Time, you could read 4 Wheel of Time books, and that will count for your quartet. Okay? So my pile of possibilities for the series Staircase. For my standalone, I'm planning on reading Wistress by Nadine Brandis. And this is just about a girl who, what's her name? Martha, who she is born with the ability to turn her tears into wishes. But then there's one day where if she cries, if she sheds one tear, it will kill her. So she has to deal with that and break that curse. So plan on reading that for the standalone. For my duology, remember I have to start and complete the duology. So I'm going to read Serpents and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. And this is about an adopted human daughter of the Nightborn Vampire King. And that is really all I know about this, other than, like, I know there's the back of the book that I can read. Here's what I've discovered about fantasy romances. Like, the back of the book, it's nice. It's a little blurb. It tells me what it's about, but, like, I don't really fully understand what it's about, obviously, until I read the book. But, like, for some reason, the back of fantasy romance books, they don't really, I'm just like, okay, it's a fantasy romance, and I'll pick it up. The back blurb does not draw me into a fantasy romance. I don't know why that is. Other books, yes, but not fantasy romance. So Serpents and the Wings of Night, I've heard really good things about this. So I'll read that. And then Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, which is book 2. Now, I do know that the Crown of Naxia has a much broader series, but it's like a series with like duets, made of duets from what I understand. So this is book 2 of the Nightborn duet. I'm not going to read the back of the book because I don't want to spoil anything that happens in book brain fart. Book 1 for me. For my trilogy, I don't have book 1. Book 1, where did I put book 1? Book 1 is around here somewhere. But I do have book 1. I just don't have it on me. It's not next to me. So I'll show you book 2 and book 3. So book 1 is City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. Book 2 is Kingdom of Copper. And book 3 is Empire of Gold. So we are getting back to my chunky roots. June has been a lot of shorter books because I've been doing the Amazing Readathon. But for everything else, we're now getting back to my chunky roots. Look how long this book is. So this is the Daevabad trilogy. It's Middle Eastern inspired. And I've heard fantastic things about this. I really liked the Adventures of Amina al-Sarafi. And I've had this on my shelf for a while. I just have not picked it up. So finally, we're going to pick that up. And then for my quartet, I decided I toyed with putting Wheel of Time on there because I do want to make progress with Wheel of Time. But I realized I've got a lot of big fantasy books and I need something to break that up. So we're going to read, I've read books 1 and 2 in The Cheese Shop Mystery by Karina Moss. And I decided, let's finish out this series because it's a 6-book series. So if I put the rest of the Cheese Shop Mysteries on there, I can finish out my series. And so what this is about is, it's set in Yarrow Glen, which is Sonoma Valley, California. And Willa Bauer, she moves after following a failed engagement. She moves to Yarrow Glen and opens up a cheese shop catering to like fine cheeses. And she meets some friends, and it's kind of like the cheese team that helps solve murder mysteries. It's super cute and fun, and I love cheese, so I'm just like there's a part of me that's like, oh man, I wish we had a cheese shop like this in my town, but I also know that would be very deadly to my wallet. So, all right, so that is my series Staircase. Next up is the awards winner, all the awards, okay? So I'll be honest and say I misunderstood how to do the prompt. How I'm doing it is totally fine. So on the spreadsheet, it has like a spot for 2 winners, 2 finalists, 2 semifinalists, and an entrant. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books, okay? And you can track like your progress as you go. It's a drop-down box. So you can do all winners. You could do all semifinalists. You could do all entrants. So for example, if you do the Goodreads Choice Awards, you can just drop down and do like all the entrants. Like if you're one of those people who like to read like what are all the books that have been nominated for the Goodreads Choice Awards. Or if you subscribe to Book of the Month, you can read all of the entrants for the Book of the Month for the Lolly winners. You can do it as you're doing 2 winners, 2 finalists, 2 semifinalists, 1 entrant. That's how I'm doing it. So in that case, like I'm having to pick and choose from different awards because I started with Goodreads and realized it doesn't have semifinalists. So here we go. So for entrant, pretty much every book is up for Goodreads Choice Award winner, right? Because you leave a review, they base their semifinalists and finalists, like winners, based on every book that's been reviewed, right? So I need to make more progress in Dresden Files. So after Ghost Story, I can pick up Cold Days. I hate it when series don't put the number somewhere on that. So I don't know how many books this is in, but we're following Harry Dresden. He's a wizard. He solves crime of the paranormal nature in Chicago. So looking forward to reading more on that. Then for semifinalists, and I think this was for the Hugo Award. I could be wrong on that. Kingdom of Copper, Empire of Gold. So I'm using my double up to help me with this. For finalists, this was I know this one is for the Hugo Award, and I've had this on my I've had this book for a few years now and just have not read it yet. And that would be A Master of Gin by P. Djeli Clark. And this book is set in Cairo, 1912. And we follow Fatma, who works for the Ministry of Alchemy, Enchantments, and Supernatural Entities. And she is not a rookie, and she helped prevent the destruction of the universe last summer. And so when someone murders the members of a secret brotherhood dedicated to one of the most famous men in history, Al-Jahiz, Agent Fatma is called to the case. Al-Jahiz transformed the world 40 years ago when he opened up the veil between the magical and mundane realms before vanishing into the unknown. I'm looking forward to reading this. I've heard some mixed things, but it's time. It's time for me to read this. And then another finalist, Piranesi by Susanna Clark. It's a nicer, shorter one. This also is going to help me fulfill a prompt for our fantasy bingo. This fulfills the prompt on our fantasy bingo where it's like the world defies all laws of physics. So, and all I really know is that Piranesi is our main character, and he lives in like a sentient house, and there's a labyrinth, and that's really all I know. I've heard that it's really confusing and you're not going to really understand what's going on until towards the end. So I'm a little nervous about this book, but I've heard fantastic things about this book. So, and then for my winners, I'm doing some Goodreads Choice Award winners. So first up is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. I need to read this year and not in 2026. Sorry. They're starting to do roof work, and I thought I was going to beat it, but I heard something. So if you can hear it, I really apologize. I'll try to talk fast. So this is set in World War II. It follows 2 sisters in Paris, I believe. And I've heard fantastic things about this, and I have yet to read it. And then finally, I plan on reading The House of Flame and Shadow. So this is book 3. Yeah, this is House of Flame. Yeah, this is book 3 in the Crescent City series. So I'm not going to look and tell you what this is about. All I do know is that this is set in current times. And of course, we're to have Faye because it's Sarah J. Maas. All right. Phew. Have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts? Are you participating in any year-long reading challenges? How did you plan for it? And as always, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Thank you so much for watching. And even if you don't know how to answer those questions that I asked you in the comments down below, leave some. Let's see. Since I've had a lot of snakes on book covers, leave like a little snake or a dragon emoji down below. Thanks. Bye.